First up, the immediate situation at the site of the blast-off, the launch pad itself. Erik von Ann, anchor at WKMG TV News 6 in Orlando. Thanks very much, Erik, for being with us once again. What's the weather like? And now we've got the first images of the crew on board the Crew Dragon spacecraft. So that's great to see. We see Shubhanshu Shukla right in the middle. He, of course, is the pilot of this mission. But what's the weather like? What can you share with us at this stage?
Vishnu, good morning. Yes, so this is our radar map here, and you see it is showing that we are in excellent shape here at the Kennedy Space Center just after midnight our time here on the East Coast of Florida and the East Coast of the United States. There are some showers in the distance just east of the Kennedy Space Center and pad 39A behind me, but this does not appear to be a concern. It has not stopped the countdown. We are still on track for just about 2 hours from this very moment. Typically, NASA gets concerned if we have clouds hanging around the launch pad, in particular clouds that may cause lightning, because they will not fly that rocket through lightning. That does not appear to be the case. As you spoke a couple of weeks ago when they first tried to get this rocket off the ground with those 4 international astronauts, including your captain, it didn't go so well. We did have weather issues here because in Florida it rains pretty much every single afternoon. We're talking very intense rainstorms with lots of lightning. Second time, in particular, there was a liquid oxygen leak on top of that Falcon 9 booster. SpaceX likes to use the phrasing flight proven because they've already launched this booster to space once. It has come back to Earth, as you see behind me, and they refurbished it. They discovered that liquid oxygen leak actually as the booster was coming back down to space because it relights the engines in order to successfully land just a little north of me, right at the Cape Canaveral Air Force Station, and they detected the leak. Apparently they didn't fix it. So when they got this rocket on the launch pad and they started getting ready to put the 4 astronauts on board, that's when they discovered this liquid oxygen leak a second time. They did spend some time, several days to repair it, but then, as you've spoken, Vishnu, about this serious leak on board the International Space Station, that stopped the show entirely. NASA was very concerned because the pressure inside the ISS dropped dramatically. They've had this leak for about 5 years. They would patch it, pressure would come back up, but this time the pressure dropped enough that NASA was very concerned, not just about the 7 men and women on board the ISS at this very moment, but of course adding 4 more to the ISS. NASA paused. They asked the crew up there, because this is on the Russian side. This is actually in a Russian tunnel leading to the service module where one of the Russian capsules docks. So there's 3 Roscosmos Russian cosmonauts on board, along with 4 astronauts. The team worked together. They patched a little bit more in this tunnel. They brought the pressure back up. NASA felt comfortable enough to send these 4 now in less than 2 hours up to the International Space Station. We understand, I'll tell you this here in the United States, this is a huge deal for these international astronauts from, of course, Hungary and Poland, besides India. We have Captain Peggy Whitson commanding this private mission. But what is different, as you've pointed out, I think, is typically the last time when Axiom sends private astronauts to space, and 2 times ago when Commander Whitson commanded that Axiom 2 mission, those were private, wealthy, self-paying individuals. This mission is significant for us because here from the coast of Florida, we have 3 gentlemen who are being sponsored by their governments. Of course, your captain as well falls into that category, which from everything I can tell, is a highly experienced fighter pilot. One of the comments I heard about him, you might have heard this as well, Vishnu, is that he has the ability to solve problems and issues that crop up when it comes to space flight, aerospace systems, especially even on vehicles that he's never flown on or been familiar with. I know he's been training since 2019. Of course, he went to Russia to start training with Roscosmos, and then it was announced of course, that it would be flying on SpaceX, sponsored by the Indian government. But apparently his crew is very fond of him. They say that he is really, really sharp, and they're very glad to have him as the pilot because of his troubleshooting ability. Of course, besides his ability flying so many different aircraft as a test pilot, also being a fighter pilot, being familiar with these different
All right,
aircraft.
Eric, I'm going to interrupt you for half a second. We've got a live feed coming in now from Axiom and SpaceX.